Hello, and welcome to this session. In this session, aligned with Learning Outcome LO3, Understand Bias in Psychological Research and Theory, we will explore how bias shapes psychological research and theory. We will examine the complexities of bias, including its impact on research validity, reliability, and the generalizability of findings. By understanding different types of bias and how they influence studies, we can appreciate why recognizing and addressing bias is essential for conducting rigorous and objective psychological research. Bias in research refers to systematic deviations from truth. It can occur at any research stage, affecting questions, design, data collection, analysis, and interpretation. Understanding bias is essential for accurate findings. It ensures research remains valid and generalizable. Let's explore the different types of bias. There are various types of bias, including selection, confirmation, publication, experimenter, and cultural bias. Each type can distort research outcomes. Selection bias occurs when samples aren't representative. Confirmation bias favors information confirming pre-existing beliefs. Publication bias skews literature towards positive results. Selection bias arises when samples don't represent the population. It leads to flawed generalizations. This bias limits a study's external validity. Ensuring representative samples is crucial. Without it, findings cannot be accurately generalized. Confirmation bias favors information that confirms existing beliefs. It influences data interpretation. This bias perpetuates stereotypes. Researchers must critically evaluate data. Avoiding this bias ensures balanced conclusions. Publication bias favors positive over negative results. This skews scientific literature. Negative findings are underreported. It distorts research syntheses. Addressing this bias ensures a balanced view of evidence. Experimenter bias occurs when researchers' expectations influence outcomes. It affects participant behavior. This bias compromises internal validity. Using blind designs can mitigate it. Ensuring objectivity is essential for accurate results. Cultural bias interprets phenomena based on one's cultural perspective. It imposes cultural norms on diverse populations. This limits findings' generalizability. Researchers must consider cultural contexts. Avoiding this bias ensures inclusivity. Bias influences theory development and acceptance. It can skew theoretical frameworks. Evaluating theories for bias is crucial. This ensures they remain accurate and inclusive. Researchers must be vigilant. Minimizing bias involves diverse samples and blind designs. Meta-analyses help synthesize data. These strategies enhance research validity. Ethical conduct requires unbiased studies. Researchers must prioritize these methods. Bias in research has ethical implications. Psychologists must conduct unbiased studies. This ensures valid and reliable findings. Ethical research upholds scientific integrity. Researchers bear this responsibility. Researchers may favor data confirming hypotheses. This influences data selection and interpretation. It reinforces pre-existing beliefs. Awareness of this bias is crucial. It ensures balanced inferences. Expectancy bias influences participants based on researchers' expectations. It introduces unintentional cues. This affects participant responses. Mitigating this bias ensures accurate outcomes. Researchers must be cautious. Selection bias affects sample representativeness. It limits study generalizability. Ensuring diverse samples is crucial. This bias impacts external validity. Researchers must address it. Publication bias favors positive outcomes. It skews literature. Negative results are underrepresented. This bias distorts evidence synthesis. Addressing it ensures balanced research. Cultural bias generalizes findings based on researchers' perspectives. It overlooks cultural nuances. This limits applicability. Researchers must consider diverse contexts. Avoiding this bias ensures inclusivity. Recall bias affects data accuracy. It influences participants' memory. This is common in retrospective studies. Researchers must ensure accurate data collection. Mitigating this bias is crucial. Sampling bias arises from non-representative samples. It compromises external validity. Diverse samples are essential. This bias affects study generalizability. Researchers must address it. Anchoring bias influences judgments based on initial information. It narrows consideration of alternatives. This bias impacts decision-making. Researchers must be aware of it. Avoiding it ensures balanced interpretations. Hindsight bias perceives events as predictable after they occur. It affects retrospective analyses. This bias influences interpretation. Researchers must ensure objective evaluations. Awareness is key to accurate conclusions. Conclusion: promoting rigorous and objective research is essential for the advancement of knowledge. A scientific environment flourishes when these principles are consistently upheld, ensuring credibility, innovation, and the integrity of findings. Should you have any questions, please contact us via WhatsApp at 07484361688. Our team will gladly support you. Thanks for your time and see you soon.